Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mancion. I wanted to come and say hello, to wish you a wonderful day. I'm going to pull a few cards from the tarot of the archangels to see what kind of blessed information we may receive today. For the past is the Seven of Raphael. For we send greetings to Raphael, the beloved Raphael, so that he may come into our life and show us the way. He said it is time to take a decision, identify clearly what you want, and then act. Need to purify yourself. So this is the past. This is we've been very clearly informed about what we need to do, and that is what have led us to this point of peace now. The Archangel Azrael, we send greeting to him. And we invite him into our life. I have never made direct contact with Azrael, yet he's there. He's not like, it's just more quiet, that's all. Leave the past behind you. The future has more to offer. Surrender to God. So thank you. This is really what we need to do. We have to let go of this idea of past and present and future. We live in the now. The past, present, and future the past is gone. The present can never be stopped, and so therefore it does not exist. And the future is not created. If once the future is created, it becomes the present. And yet it passes on to something else. So it is about being in this nowness of time where we are fully able to create whatever we need to create and to be free. So it is very important to cultivate hope rather than worry. When we worry, we create circumstances that will be difficult in our future. When we hope, we leave the space open for the realization of our dreams. And so it is important to trust rather than fear, and to understand that all dreams are realizable. I'm going to come back to that. So the future is the Four of Gabriel. It is a wonderful, blessed situation. Thank you, Gabriel, to assist us in bringing this joy, this harmony. It is about new energies that are coming to us. So we have to be gentle with them. We have to cultivate them. This will come in the near future. It says, after the effort, the recomfort. You are harvesting the fruits of your work. Get rid of the situation that are oppressing you. So it is important to let go, to release, and to understand what it is. I had something that was very, very, very aligned with this card, and I just got in my notes. It's to understand that in many sense God is in charge. So if God is in charge, you can trust. God is God. We have no clue who God is really, who we are really. But I assure you that there is everything. This whole program of the universe, God is fully aware and can change anything He wants at any time. It is about aligning. We came here to bring our own light, to bring our own love to the process of ascension, to assist, to become available. If God wants to use us, God will use everything and everyone, no matter what. But when we are aware of that presence, it's to understand that God is a part of us that will never change. We can never. It is the origin. It is the destiny. But it as an infinite being, God is the stability of the universe. The personality is another thing that will not change. Personality is not just an ego function. Higher spirits have personality. God is the first personality. And so, although the transformation from one state to another we may not recognize an ego personality on the earth. Once it's ascended, it takes on a higher form, of course. For what we want is to understand that the ascension is an eternal process. It will never end. Descension, ascension, life in the universe. But if we say that as a mortal being, you say, well, life will go on eternally. And considering the struggle and the difficulty of human living, you say, well, I don't want that. It's just one thing. Well, that is why we at some points we cut the slate clean and we start over, we start fresh. But once we reconnect to this eternal nature, we realize that we can live in this subtle energy that is permanent, that is blissful, that is joyful, that is integrated, where our knowledge can appear as we think. So it is really the outcome of that way. This is why we are encouraging everyone to turn towards the light, is because there is a great deal of freedom and joy and happiness at the end of this process in the reconnection of our eternal nature and integration within our God self. For understand, you are the world. There is no other. You are all that is, and so there can never be. All the separation are within the mind. And so, also, I wanted to ask you a question, if you care to share. Because all dreams are realizable, and I've always had dreams where I fly. I fly, and if you ever had a dream where you fly, just let me know, because I know that I have many friends who also had those dreams, so it is not something unusual. But in a sense, we came here to realize our dream, and when we dream to fly, we are practicing. Why? Because flying is not as easy. Or even if you are master of anti-gravity, wind can just throw you on the tree or something. But if you do that on the astral planes, you are thrown into a building. Your body will not, you're gonna wake up in your body and harm. But if you do that in the physical world, so you want to practice before, and all the dreams that we had that we flight were actually practices for some kind of potential future when we're going to realize and discover anti-gravity. This will change the world, and the first person who actually can master that, although there is some people in Tibet and monasteries that are able to stand in levitation, but I've never seen somebody flying in the sky of Manhattan, basically. But the first person who can master that will definitely create a buzz on a planetary level, and will show new level of integration of that psychic and spiritual and scientific aspect of life. For those things we used to already do in Atlantis, for we were already there, and we had all this knowledge of anti-gravity. So understand also that life is like a video game. Whatever we call life is not real life. It is like every morning we pop into this physical body. It is like plugging in our avatar body and going on for a new game. Every day is a new game on the same level. Once you master all the obstacles of one level, you are elevated to the next level. And I was surprised once I saw an interview on mainstream media of this designer called Karl Lagerfeld, who was explaining that he knew for a very, very long time that his body was just a puppet, that he had the power to make it do whatever he wants. Somebody that's pretty creative and well within his own power, and I have great respect for him. Although my favorite designer in terms of a woman's fashion will probably remain Oscar de la Renta. This is by far the ones in the overall body of work, I think is my favorite. It's just a matter of preference. Although Chanel is wonderful. The other designers are making some really nice creation for women, for men's fashion in high fashion. I find it absolutely distasteful. For to turn men into women is not the idea of it's just a personal view. So the card from the Akash is the transport. It is this train, this locomotive, is to stay on track, is to be on the train, to go on the train. This is a first class ticket to the ascension process. You just got to sit and let it carry you. So essentially, that's the program. I wanted to bring about one more idea. It's about the idea of relationship. For in many sense, we have there was a book from Plato that's called The Banquet. It's a small book I recommend. I haven't seen maybe it's in English. I'm going to look for it in English. If I find it, I'll put a link below. I've seen it in French many times. And at some point, it's a banquet where philosophers are meeting to discuss and make the apologies of love. What is love? To glorify love. And every philosopher goes through at the end. Socrates, a unique story, but it's not the story I want to talk about. Today is a story, I think, Alcibiade or Sophocles, that was taking a story in this book that originally men and women did not exist. Human beings were just these round beings, where like they were whole, but they were so powerful that the gods were afraid they would take over the Olymp. So they split it in the middle and they created man and woman so that they would be looking for each other and can never find this other part of themselves. So in many sense, when we find this ideal relationship, it is because we are connecting to a soul mate, somebody that's on the soul, connected from the core, from part of our soul family. Those cannot be invented. It is a question of tonality of soul. Our flame, our sacred flame, have different tonality and vibration, and so we don't have that many soul mates, although there is only one soul and the whole world is your soulmate. But on a deepest level, there is only a few beings that we have planned to make those deep soul connection. And sometimes those people can sometimes it's not a relationship, but those people have a deep, powerful influence on us. But in this book, I wanted to bring about the idea that the real soul twin can never be true, can never incarnate. Why? Because it is both in the Torah, in the Egyptian as the Ba and the Ka, and it is also in esoterical Buddhist tradition, that the soul, if you're a man, your soul is masculine and your astral body is feminine. If you're a woman, your soul is feminine and your astral body is masculine. The astral body is the body of desire. It is the body of all the projection. It controls all the earth planes. But once the soul is integrated enough and to fulfill this need, that there is no more need on the higher level, then the astral body takes on a complementary form in the opposite gender, and there is what is called the immortal, the sacred, the eternal reunion between the soul and the astral body. That's why in Buddhist, traditional Buddhist, the monks go into monasteries to go in vacuity, in solitude, so that they can avail themselves to this amazing romantic relationship that will develop, eventually discover between our soul and our astral body. Does not preclude the relationship with humans, for we have those deep relationships that we want to continue to cultivate. And So it all depends on what we're looking for. The painting behind me, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to this other one, but this painting behind me is called Orvonton. It's a portrait of the super universe of Orvonton. It's the name of the seven master spirit, and he has given his name. The Milky Way would be like at the center of that, and there is Uversa at the center, and then there is the Great Magellan Clouds and also small galaxies that are part of this, but not Andromeda. Andromeda is another system, and so it is signed, and it's pretty well integrated. There is an organic quality to that painting, but it represents something so big. It represents a trillion inhabited world. So it's a big place. The big place, the universe is a big place. But for now, we have that reality to turn into a paradise. Huh? So it's about making the earth this paradise. And how do we do that? We tune into God inside. Once you tune into God inside, you'll see that the paradisical condition will increasingly appear and manifest in the flow and grace and ease. I also wanted to say, because of Venus, that's going to be 40 days, that's going to move through Scorpio, and it's going to be in this kind of shadow. So we're going to be forced to heal all our sexual traumas from the past. Of course, if somebody has suffered physical trauma on the sexual nature, it's more difficult to heal. It requires a lot of forgiveness for yourself and for the abuser and so some sort. But we've all been wounded on the emotional level, and we need to heal those to be free. And so it is important. We'll be given this month, will be very powerful, and there may be some old memories that come back. Do not judge them. Do not be hard on yourself. Do not be hard on other people. They're coming in to be released. And this painting, this is the back. But maybe not. It's not a finished painting, but it addresses this idea on a philosophical level of the sexual wounds. It is about the rape of Persephone. She was the daughter of Ceres and Zeus, and she was kidnapped. She was given by Zeus to his brother Hades to be who is the lord of the underworld, to be his wife. And so it is also the coming of winter. For the deal was negotiated. So Persephone could be with his mother Demeter. Ceres is the English name, the Latin name, sorry. And so during the summer, when Persephone is out on the earth with his mother, everything bloom and everything flourish. But then she has to return for 6 months in the underworld with Hades, and so Demeter's not really happy, and that's where the winter comes. So mythology is symbolic. There's all kinds of symbols. And so here is a portrait of Persephone. It's here she was called Kore originally, and so that was written here. It means a pretty girl in Greek. And then there is the Persephone, the symbol of Persephone here on the astrological level, the symbol of Zeus. Oops, no, the symbol of Zeus, and then the sun in the back. It's not finished. I'm going to see how I integrate all those symbols. Here we have the symbol of Hades with his astrological symbol, and then here there is Hephaestus, the god of the forge, who created this helmet that made him invisible. For those subjects have been really treated in mythology during the Renaissance, and so I believe there is a new Renaissance where artists will have to address spiritual ideas, and for the world of decoration will be we're gonna get bored with this art that's just decoration, just pure decor. I enjoy when I get a big house, I'm gonna make decorative painting to decorate my house, but it's not really, we're looking for more in the art than just being decoration. And ever since the end of modern art, I felt there is even in art school, they teach you that symbol, philosophy, content within art is absolutely unacceptable. It's all about the form. And the form, because we're in the world of form, but we need to understand the world of there is what's inside, what's in the depths, what comes out of it, the spirit inside, what motivates the energy, rather than just being a form. That's kind of boring, because if there is no substance inside, then the form will get bored of the form eventually. So here there is also Ceres, that's like a mirror image, and Anomia. And she's a bit sad. You see, there's in her eyes. I'm not really. It's like she's in between those two worlds, and it's a very magical portrait. So I'm gonna continue working on it. So we're moving towards this great in January 2020. Pluto and Saturn will move in the sky and create a great transformation of the society, but we're already here to prepare this transformation, and Jupiter will go into the mix. I hope this message was interesting for you. I'm going to finish with this song that went through my head. It's about the coming of winter and looking for the sun, to be in the sun, to be enjoyed. But we have this inner sun that we have to cultivate, and from there we are able to always keep our inner self warm. With this inner light, we have to learn to go and sit inside of us and to envision that we're sitting next to this divine light, and we can draw so much from this divine light that we have within ourselves. Song goes like this. All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray, I've been for a walk, on a winter's day, I'll be safe and warm, if I was in LA, California dream, on such a winter's day. I stepped into a church, I passed along the way. Whoa, I got down on my knees, and I pretend to pray, You know the preacher likes the cold, He knows I'm gonna stay, California dream, on such a winter's day. Well, thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll come back to you soon. Namaste.